Who's the most important Celtic in this series?
To me, it's Jaylen Brown. Because I think he has the ability to take you inside or out. Jason Tatum, I normally would say that, but I don't think he's going to be as much of a focal point offensively as Jaylen. Jaylen is very, very athletic. He can attack you inside and out. He can put the ball on the floor, and he causes them problems in a myriad of ways. Plus, he really wants these guys. You know, he and I have been talking since last year, and he's been talking about one. He didn't just want to win a championship. He wants to go through LeBron in Cleveland in order to do it. He wants them badly, and he believes the rest of his teammates want them badly as well. And I think that even though they operate collectively, he's sort of the straw that really stirs everything in the cup. This is who he is, and this is the kind of attitude that he brings to the table that I think is relatively infectious when it comes to the rest of the team. So he would be my pick for that particular question.
The answer is Al Horford. You know, Jaylen Brown does some things, and Tatum do some things differently. One's a little more of a power forward, I would say, in Tatum, and a small forward in Brown. But there's some overlap there. There's a good deal of overlap there. And you could say the same thing for Smart and Rozier and a lot of guys on that roster. But Al Horford is the guy that does some stuff that no one else can quite do at that level. Defend the rim. He's so versatile defensively because he can guard the other guy's point guard, if that point guard is Ben Simmons, and the center, if that, you know, even if it's Embiid. He's just complete, you know, he can switch. What can't Al Horford do? He's really the prototypical modern big. He can shoot from the outside. He can post up. He can do so. And in this series in particular, he is abusing Kevin Love in the pick and roll. So Al Horford is the guy. Yes, he's a version of the statless all-star. He does put up numbers, but in the past his value's been overlooked at times because there may not be one single number that jumps out at you. But when everyone's quick to say, the reason I always say, hey, they're missing two of their best three players, Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, is because if you had to number the most important and best players on the Celtics, Kyrie is one. I think Horford is two. And without Kyrie, that makes him one on the team right now.
Oh, Max! I thought for sure you would say Brad Stevens. 100% would have put all my money on it.
He said player.
And I'd have lost all my money. But you're right, Max. You got to be right. You went before me, and I hate you for it. It's Al Horford. Stephen A., you're wrong. I love Jaylen Brown. Been big on Jaylen Brown since, well, you know when I really started loving Jaylen Brown? It's when we were all in Oakland last year. Remember when we were sitting out there for the finals, and Cleveland and Golden State are, you know, going back and forth, and Jaylen Brown came to set out there in Oakland, hung out with us. He's a great kid. He's a great player, big Jaylen Brown fan. And I do believe that he has the ability to be the alpha on that team somewhere down the line. But for now, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe what Max just said, listen to Brad Stevens. Al Horford is the rock. He's the thing they design every defensive set around. He's the reason that guys like Semi Ojeleye or Marcus Smart or Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown could front LeBron James because he was helping on the back end. He was the whole, and I imagine Brad Stevens is going to have to adjust. LeBron will, and he'll come up with a new scheme. But I bet you this, it will be designed around Al Horford being the backbone of that defense. And meanwhile, no, Max, he's not statless at all on the offensive end. He's an absolutely efficient machine, scoring over 20 and shooting some, what 80% last night? 8 for 10, and that's not even out of the norm. He's incredibly efficient. He's not the flashiest guy on their team. He's not the one that can do all the things you just rattled off about Jaylen Brown, Stephen A. But he is the backbone of this team. He is the rock. He is the most important guy on that Celtics team.